with some folks and maybe do some hiking, do some riding. If time allows, Sunday may run up to Knoxville and see my parents for a couple hours. So we'll see.
How far is it from you?
To southeast, where we're going is about 400 miles, 425 miles total. And that's if we don't stop in Lynchburg on the way and just roll through there and then take some back roads from there over to Tracy City.
So is it 425 miles from where you are here or from where she lives?
From St. Louis.
Oh, okay.
325 to Nashville and about 100 from Nashville.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
is she going to leave with you from St. Louis then?
No, I'm picking her up in Nashville.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, she's down there. So I'll just pick her up on the way, throw her on the back of the bike, and go. That's
so
the
you
plan.
leaving tomorrow morning then?
Yeah, I'm going to leave out in the morning.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
What about you?
This weekend. No, I guess my mom's husband's coming tomorrow. We're gonna go for a little beginning weekend dinner. We kind of, I don't know, we made some crazy weird things happen last weekend, and we bought a new car.
Yeah.
And traded it, or we're gonna trade my daughter, so she's gonna get that one. So she got her car all cleaned up. So I'll probably take some pictures and get that posted on Facebook Marketplace or something like that.
There you go.
And this weekend's gonna be chill because next weekend I'm traveling. So Friday,
okay.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday on a bike trip. So
Nice. Where are you going?
yeah, so Bob and I are gonna head up to the North Shore of Lake Superior. So we're gonna kind of go up to like northern Minnesota a little bit and then come down. There's a couple routes that I found that I want to ride. And then we're going to stay. So there's an area of Minnesota where they used to do a lot of iron mining. And it's called iron. They call it the Iron Range.
All right.
So we're gonna stay at a hotel in the Iron Range because staying on the shore of Lake Superior is very expensive, especially in Duluth, the large city that's there.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're just going to drive through Duluth because I do want Bob to see that section of the he's never been there, and it's a pretty cool city. It reminds me a lot of like a San Francisco kind of city.
Really?
It's really because Lake Superior is so gigantic, right? So there's giant freighters that are on it. They have lift bridges downtown. The city's kind of built all the way on a cliff or on the edge that goes down into Lake Superior, right? So it's really hilly and that kind of stuff. So really cool. And you kind of come in from the city from the top, so you can see like Lake Superior as soon as you come into the top of the city.
Nice. Okay.
So it's a really cool kind of setting down into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then so we're going to come into Duluth, and then we're going to head up Lake Superior, and we're going to go all the way up almost to the border of Canada. So we're going to take the North Shore of Lake Superior all the way up.
Yeah.
Take the scenic route, take our time, stop it. There's some really cool like stops along the way, like Betty's Pies. It's a really popular pie place. There's really cool places to eat, and just going to go all the way up. There's a couple of places where like the bluffs come all the way out, and they carve tunnels out, so you ride through some tunnels.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yep. So we're going to do that next weekend. So, and then we're going to ride back down Lake Superior, back down the North Shore, and go up through Duluth again, and stay in the Iron Range, and then head home. So
that's cool. That sounds like fun.
Probably
nice. Weather will probably be good. Won't be like 100 degrees like it is here.
Well, yeah, and here's the thing too is that I've hit it both. I hit a time when it was like 90 in Duluth, and it was like 50 on the shores of Lake Superior. So
oh wow, that's a big difference.
Yeah, you get that lakeshore breeze, and it can cool off quite a bit, especially at night. So
sure.
Yeah, but just going to be a good trip. There's a couple of places. There's some pretty big waterfalls there and that kind of stuff. So.
Well, maybe when you're on your ride, you just keep going east and ride over to Milwaukee, have a conversation with this new CEO at Harley.
Welcome to Moto State Podcast, where we talk about motorcycles, life, and everything in between. Hey. I heard something about. I saw some. There's been some posts and some people that are making some comments, and I think.
Oh,
that,
there's no shortage of comments about this. That's for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. I think we need to unpack that, right? But here's what I want to say. I want to go backwards a little bit because
Okay.
I've heard a lot of shit about Zeitz or Zeitz. It's Zeitz, not Zeitz. It's Zeitz.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to clear the air because I've heard a lot of shit, and I've heard a lot of incorrect shit. Okay,
Sure.
so a lot of what I heard was that Harley went to Puma, and they recruited Zeitz away from Puma because he was previously the CEO of Puma.
Yep.
Okay, and that is not entirely true.
Okay.
So he was actually on the board for Harley for a while. And when that job opening came up, he did not apply for it as much as the board asked him if he would step in on an interim basis. So that's how that whole thing went down. It was not about him leaving Puma or Harley going to Puma and getting this guy or anything like that. He was on the board of Harley Davidson and had been for a few years already when they asked him to step in as CEO. So
Interesting.
that there's been a lot of misinformation out there, and there's a couple of good podcasts. And you know what? I'm not even going to mention those podcasts because if you want to find out the information and you want to look, do your digging and do your due diligence because there's a couple of good podcasts out there that have. You know what? I shouldn't say that. I'm going to mention one of them.
Sure.
So Danger Dan's podcast. If you don't know who Danger Dan is, he's got a podcast, and he interviewed Zeitz, and Zeitz gave his story. And Danger Dan talks about how he went into this podcast with the full intention on putting the wood to this guy. You know, that he was going to, he was going to roast him. He was going to go after him. And it turns out that he didn't because he had, I wouldn't call it a change of heart. I would call it a change of intellect. He learned some things that he didn't know, which drastically changed his opinion. And he got an opportunity to spend some time with him, which also changed his opinion on the man himself.
Sure.
You know, he wasn't just a guy that came over from Puma. Like I said, he was on the board. He was also a rider for a very long time.
Yep.
So, contrary to what people think, he wasn't just some fashion guy that came into the motorcycle world. He was a rider for a very long time, and really saw Harley as the consummate American icon long before he was on the board. So
Probably a reason he wanted to be on the board or was willing to be on the board.
I think that's actually mentioned in the podcast with Danger Dan. So. You know, whether or not everybody knew that information or whatever, I wanted to clear it up because I know there's been a lot of misinformation spoken out there about him. And I don't have an opinion about that dude either way. In fact, I could, we'll get into that later. But anyway.
Yeah, and that podcast is about a year old. So it's not like he was defending himself on his way out the door.
Nope. He was still in the job. Yep. And so, and he actually wasn't defending himself to Danger Dan. It was really a podcast about him telling a story.
Exactly.
Dan fully admitted that he thought that that podcast was going to go a completely different direction. So go out there, find the podcast, give it a listen. It's worth it. It really is.
I agree.
Because he really speaks eloquently. Dan does, and so does Zeitz about the whole situation. So, it gives you very good insight on that scenario, which might be different than you initially thought.
Yeah. You got to go into it with an open mind as well. And if you don't have an open mind to it, then don't go look at it. That's not going to change your mind. Right.
Well, Luke, you brought it up, man. Unpack this motherfucker. Who is this guy? What's his name? What's he about?
Artie Starr. So he is current CEO of Top Golf.
Okay.
And has been there for about four plus years. Prior to that was the CEO of Pizza Hut.
Okay.
Another, a global brand there. Has a pretty good pedigree. So here's what I know about him.
Okay, yeah. Let me hear it.
His time in Pizza Hut. They brought him on, got rid of their previous CEO brought him on about the time that Pizza Hut went from the number one pizza chain in the world to the number 2. Domino's passed them. That was a time, 2017, 2018 range, where things were shifting more digital, online ordering, less people going into a physical location. Not that the delivery wasn't a thing before, but people weren't calling on the phone anymore. They wanted an app.
Okay.
They wanted to be able to do that. So, Pizza Hut was slow to adapt that.
And Domino's app is legit.
Yep. Tells you it's in the oven. Tell you
Yep.
it's whatever.
Yep. Driver's on the way. Yep. All
Yep.
the shit. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Guy stopped and farted. Whatever. It tells you everything. So
it does. It does. Yep.
so he got them caught back up to current day to technology from a technology standpoint, and got that ship righted.
And closed a lot of traditional stores, right?
Yep.
The sit-down
shedded
stores.
some fat because
Yep.
people weren't going in to eat pizza.
Yep.
They wanted to eat it
Yep.
at home. You're exactly right. So I can't remember the number of locations, but it was quite a few.
Yep.
But changed the did a remodel, rebrand, all those walk-in stores, drive-through stores. That's it. And so made that tradition, shedded a lot of fat, shed a lot of expenses, and got them pointed back in the right direction.
Yep.
And I'll speak a high level. So
Yep.
from there, moved on in 2021, moved over to the CEO of Top Golf, and obviously an expanding brand. And let's be honest, if you like going to Top Golf, you probably have a decent amount of disposable income because it's not cheap. I mean, you can go Monday through Thursday, and it's like, I think it's half off, but during the day, not at night.
Okay, put it out there. I don't know. I don't know. I've never been. What is Top Golf? What's it cost to go to Top Golf?
It's a driving range that's
Yep.
heated.
Okay.
They serve food. They serve alcohol.
Okay.
But you can play different games. So they've got these targets, these circular targets that you can aim at, and so you can aim at those and get, depending on the game, get a number of points. Or they've got a game similar to Angry Birds. So on the screen you see like this structure, and you got to knock it down. So you're just trying to aim at it, look at the TV, okay, and then hit a golf ball. It's a family friendly deal, but you can get food, you can get alcohol, you can have parties there. It is popular. I enjoy it. There's one literally walking distance from my house.
Is it pay by the hour? How do you pay for this thing?
Pay by the hour, yeah. And you can make a reservation, or you can walk in. Depending on the time of day, you might wait, maybe you won't.
Okay. What do you charge? What do they charge an hour to play on that thing?
I'm trying to think. Sophia and I went. If you go there and play 2 hours and get like an appetizer or something, a couple drinks, you're not getting out of there for less than $100.
Okay. Well,
put it in perspective.
Let's be honest. 2 hours at a restaurant for a meal with 3 to 4 people right now and drinks is easy $100.
Yeah.
At
Well,
any chain restaurant you can find.
Right, but that's me and a 13-year-old with no
Right.
alcoholic beverages,
Okay.
2 appetizers, 2 hours of golf.
Right.
Tip was $110, and that's not half off. So
Okay.
So I mean, is it overly priced? No, I don't think so, not at all. But it's something. It's a place you can go year round if you really wanted to. I mean, it gets down to 20 degrees. I'm not sure I want to be out there. I don't think those heaters are strong enough. But you see people bringing in their own golf clubs.
Sure.
They use it a way to practice.
Okay.
There's little trackers on the golf ball, so you know how far it went. It gives you all those stats. It's cool. I mean, it's something. Sophia's never played golf in her life, but she loves going there. It's an ability to swing a golf club and do something different than putt.
So I didn't know that either. I thought it was more like a traditional driving range,
No.
but there's trackers on the ball, so you hit it 300 yards, it's going to tell you hit that thing 300 yards, huh?
Correct. Yeah. So you wave your golf
like
club right in front of the thing, and then it pops the ball out, dispenses it. So when your time's up, it doesn't dispense any more golf balls. Cuts you off. Cuts you off like
gotcha.
at 3 a.m. at a CD bar.
Nice.
So
Okay.
yeah. So cool place. So he started there 2021.
Okay.
Since he's been there, revenues have increased over 50%. And
Holy
certainly
shit.
Now-
One more time? How much?
over 50%.
Wow.
Now
okay.
they've opened locations, sure. So you got to play into that, but still, that's a big deal. If you look at Q2 earnings just from this year alone, Revenue was up 9.7%.
Holy shit. Okay.
Quarter over quarter. They improved their liquidity position.
Right, and that's not in a not great market, right? Our
Exactly.
market kind of eats a dick right now.
Right. So you're up 9.7% quarter over quarter. They improved their liquidity position and paid down some debt. That's a big deal.
Right, and that also tells you that people are not sacrificing their entertainment, even though shit has gone up in price. They're still out there smacking the shit out of the golf ball.
Yep.
Well, and here's the thing. Topgolf did something really, really interesting, too, because, like you said, family friendly, right? I've seen a lot of stupid ass Topgolf videos where the people that up there that are playing, they're not golf champions, right? They might not even be the kind of people that would go play a round of golf on a golf course.
Oh, absolutely.
But they're just going to go up there and smack the ball into the net, right? Or try to hit the net. So, I mean, you're going to get the serious golfers, you're going to get the whatever, but you're going to get the same people that would go to a Friday night in the dark bowling alley, right?
It's
just wanting something to do.
It's putt on crack at the end of the day, right? It's something going above and beyond. So, I mean, you're taking a 4-year-old out there? No. But last 2 years, Sophia and I have been going since she was 11 and loves it, and she's able to enjoy it. So
how many floors are these things, too?
It depends on the location. The one here in the city, I believe it's only 2.
Okay.
The one out in West County, 2 or 3. I think the one in Vegas is 3 stories. I've been to the original one in Dallas, and that was only 2 stories, but I was the OG. Okay. And so I think it just depends on location and how much room they got.
Okay. You've been around to the Topgolf. You seem like you might have a little
you go to enough conferences, they do, there's always a vendor event at fucking Topgolf, I guarantee you. So.
Sure. That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you're our stat guy or money guy, right? So, I mean, like this, so they increase their earnings, they increase their liquidity, their cash position, he increased the company, and now Harley does a round of hiring for CEOs, and what happens?
They hired this guy.
No. They didn't first, though, right? They did a round of hiring.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And they didn't get somebody, right? Everybody that they went after kind of told them to eat a bag of dicks.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to make you wonder, is this position as coveted in the world as it used to be in the CEO, executive, C-suite world? Is it as coveted as it used to be? I don't think it is.
Well, and here's the thing, though. Somebody with this kind of pedigree, this is the kind of guy that could go to Coke. He could go to another company where he's going to be, he's going to be up in that probably $25 million range, something like that, I would say. So, either Harley didn't have enough skin in the game, right? Or, like you said, the job's not as popular as it once was. So there we go. Now, I'm just going to go off of some of the things I read. People are, all the YouTube personalities are out there saying, Harley, what the fuck are you guys doing? You hired a guy from the fashion industry, now you hire a pizza delivery guy, right? Because they're going after clickbait, right? So they're calling him the pizza delivery guy, right? Never mind his pedigree with Topgolf, and that Topgolf is actually a commodity, right? Not a necessity.
Correct.
And we haven't discussed it personally. You and I have discussed it off camera or off podcast, but we haven't discussed it on podcast. Motorcycles they're not a necessity.
Correct.
They are a commodity.
Not in this country.
Not in this country. They are entertainment only.
Mm-hmm.
They are, your motorcycle is a toy in America.
Yep.
So let's think about that for a second. Harley hired a guy from an industry that deals with something that no one needs. I mean, no one needs Topgolf, right?
Correct.
I mean, and every place I've ever seen them, they end up in pretty sought after real estate positions, right? Because they're always visible. They're by interstates. They're places where you can see them, right? You don't see Topgolf buried somewhere where you can't see it.
Yeah.
So these places are paying a pretty penny for the location of them, right?
Correct.
Not unlike the requirement for Harley Davidsons. I think they're all required to be visible from an interstate or a highway now.
Yep,
At least
so.
unless they've been established for a while.
Correct. New locations, yes.
Yep. Or new locations or a rebuild, right? So if you're an established
yes.
location and you're rebuilding, you have to build next to a highway and an interstate. So
Yep.
Topgolf has that in common with them, and he's got a pedigree for turning companies around.
Yep.
Right. I
or
mean, that's what we
improving.
said.
Turning around or improving. Correct.
Okay, turning around or improving. Okay, so that's the guy's pedigree, right?
And has experience running a global brand like Pizza Hut,
there we go. Global brand too.
which
okay,
certainly
so
Harley is as well.
3 positives. All right. Does it matter if this guy rides a fucking motorcycle or not?
Not to me.
Well, okay. Well, you're saying not to. I'm just saying in general. Does it matter if this guy rides a motorcycle? And I don't know that there's been any information out there that I have seen of whether or not anybody really knows if he rides a motorcycle or not.
Correct. Yeah.
But does it matter?
To a lot of Harley enthusiasts, it does.
Okay. Well, I think.
I can't say why, but it
Right.
does. It
Okay.
very much does.
Okay, so it does. I'm gonna weigh in on my opinion. I don't give a fuck. I think that's dumb, right? I think it's dumb because
Yeah.
I don't know that. I think that there's multiple reasons why I think it's dumb, but let's just unpack the part of whether he rides or not. Whether he rides has no bearing on his ability to turn a company around or to improve its financial standing. Doesn't matter, right?
Correct.
That literally doesn't matter at all. I mean, for all we know, that guy's vegan, which would have put pizza off the market for him,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
And we don't even know if the guy likes pizza, but he turned the company around. Okay?
Yeah.
I don't even know if the guy...
Maybe he's lactose tolerant and can't eat cheese. Shits his pants. So who knows? Who knows?
Maybe the guy's a football fan and doesn't like golf. I mean, who knows?
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know anything about the guy, right? I just know what they've put out there, which has been just a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I think that on first blush, he doesn't look like a Harley rider. He doesn't look like a motorcycle rider at all, right? He might have rode a sports bike when he was in college. That's what he looks like to me.
Yeah.
Right? So, but I'm solely basing that on a picture of what he looks like. Right?
Sure.
I'm judging him just like everyone else is. Okay.
Yeah.
So, so you're our resident, numbers whiz. On paper, does this make sense?
Yeah. To me, it does.
Okay. On paper, and I'm 100% with you. I'm 100% with you.
If you look at what he's done, a track record,
Yep.
yes, it does. It absolutely does. I mean, you have a global brand that needs help financially. I mean, because let's not forget that, was it last week that Harley sold off, was it $5 billion of their $5 billion of their motorcycle loan portfolio that they finance in-house, and a percentage of that finance company, or no, I'm sorry, what they sold was worth $5 billion.
Okay.
What they sold off was $5 billion. And they obviously needed that cash.
Okay. Yep. So they sold off $5 billion of financed motorcycles. So basically,
And a percentage of the ownership of the finance company.
Okay. Percentage of the owners of the finance company, right? So
Correct.
this is a long-term deal that they made, basically, is what you're saying.
Yep.
So basically, they sold off $5 billion of loans for people that have bought bikes.
Yeah, I don't know if it's $5 billion in loan balances, but the loans and the piece of ownership was the sales price of that combined was $5 billion.
Okay, right. So potentially not just
right?
$5 billion in loans, that the company is a stake in that company was also worth that amount. Okay,
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't need exact numbers, but that makes a difference, right? So so obviously they need an injection of cash, we'll say.
Yes.
Okay. So
yeah, it's $5 billion. Yep.
And we know that over the course of the last three to 4 years, right, they've posted some what they would consider to be quarter-over-quarter losses, right?
Yes.
Now, here's the thing, though. They're not posting losses. They are posting losses compared to previous years where they peaked. So I would argue that they peaked in 19, and because 20 wasn't as good as 19, they posted it as a loss. Does that make sense?
Sure.
I don't know that they're actually losing money as much as they're just not performing as well financially as they did in the previous years.
I haven't dug in their financials, so I can't opine on that, but that's definitely a possibility. I mean, at the end of the day, though, yeah, revenues are down, and they're trending down, continue to trend down. So, take the numbers out of it, or year over year, or compared to whatever. We have a negative trend.
Right. But I would also say we probably have a negative trend in the automotive industry in general right now across the board. I think every automotive industry is in a negative trend right now.
Yes.
Right? The cost of a vehicle has gone up. The sales of vehicles have gone down. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. We're seeing a decline across the board on that. Not as much as I don't think, and I could be wrong on this, and I'm sure someone will correct me if I am wrong. Probably not the same percentage as Harley. I say Harley's probably a little bit more because, again, back to your point, it's a commodity. People do need cars.
Right. They do need cars. Yep. And the other thing too is that there's a much higher percentage of people that drive cars versus drive motorcycles. We know that. I think it's less than 4% of the population rides a motorcycle. Right.
Yep.
And of that 4% that have purchased motorcycles, lots of them have multiple, right? So, and even multiple outside of brands, Harley and an ADV bike, maybe Harley and a BMW or whatever, right?
Sure.
So, okay. So, everything you told me right now, we kind of agree on, right? Mm-hmm. We both talked about whether or not it mattered if he rode or not, which I think it's horseshit. I don't think it matters at all.
Yeah.
But I would ask somebody right now that's making a big deal about this, that's a Harley enthusiast, whether any of this matters whatsoever at all. That's my argument. I don't think it matters one fucking bit.
So
that's where I'm at.
The common thing I've seen in comments, and you may have seen them as well, is that a lot of people think you need a biker, quote unquote biker, to run the company so they understand the culture.
Okay. All right.
And my rebuttal to that would be, what is more important to a for-profit company? Understanding the culture of bikers and your client base, or understanding the culture of your company and being able to innovate and return them to profitability and get that negative trend of revenue and net income back up.
Right. So here's what I say. I'm going to use this. I'm going to use shoes because Zeitz came from shoes. I own a lot of Vans.
Yeah.
I've been buying Vans since the 80s. I own a lot of pair of Vans. I have, since I've purchased my very first pair, never known who the CEO of Vans are, and don't give a flying fuck either way.
Yeah.
I like them because I think they're cool. Okay? I wore them when people weren't wearing them. When I was wearing them in North Dakota, nobody even had them. You couldn't even buy them here because I moved here from Southern California.
Yeah.
So, but it never mattered to me. Didn't matter when I was a kid. Doesn't matter to me now as an adult. I don't know the CEO of Levi's, and I wear jeans. I don't know the CEO of many of the brands that I consume on a daily basis. I don't know who works at Dodge, and I drive a Dodge truck. I would imagine that you don't know who the CEO of Ford is right now.
I do not.
Okay. Do you like Ford?
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself a Ford guy?
I guess I've got two. So
okay, well there you go. Yeah, okay. You have two Fords. You're a Ford guy. Great. And I'm not disparaging that at all. I don't give a shit, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that the CEO of the company doesn't matter to you at all, right?
Yeah.
The product matters, right? I would say the product matters to you. Is that a fair statement?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So the product matters, but the CEO doesn't matter at all. Okay.
No.
So the argument that people are making that says that they need a Harley guy because the Harley guy is going to know the culture, I would say that's a giant fucking mistake. Because when you are ingrained in a culture, what happens? Do you always make sound, rational decisions, good business decisions, when you're worried about protecting a culture or a brand as much as you're trying to increase profitability, increase viability, increase your market share?
Yeah.
All of these things need to happen for Harley to be viable. The culture is not the fucking CEO. The culture is not the leadership of Harley Davidson. Not anymore, and not in this world, this global world that we live in. The culture are the people that ride the motorcycles, the people that are out at Sturgis right now.
Right.
All the organization, and this is my 2 cents. All Harley as a corporation needs to keep in mind is that they have to continue to support the culture, to show up at events, to sponsor things, to be alive in the culture, and to continue to support the growth and change of the culture.
Yeah.
They are not the caretakers of the culture. They are not the covenant of the culture. They aren't even the people who began the culture. They've supported it through hog chapters and things like that. But the culture is the people. The people that ride the motorcycles are the culture, not the fucking corporation.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, let's compare Harley to Facebook. You hear so many people saying, fuck that, Zuck, fuck that guy. But that ain't stopping them from using Facebook.
Exactly.
How many people have not bought a Harley because of the previous CEO, or not going to buy a Harley because of this new CEO? Not a damn person. That's bullshit.
I agree with you. I think it's bullshit too. And I would take it one step further. I think the people that we need to be more connected to are the design engineers and the people that are making the fucking bedazzled T-shirts that they need to stop putting out. Right?
Well, at the end of the day, you got to put out a good product. You've got to put out a good product. At the end of the day, you've got to innovate that product. Mm-hmm. You have to continue to improve on that product. And if you don't do that, then culture or not, if the product's shit, you're not going to sell anything, and there's not going to be a company around to make that product anymore.
Yep. And I would say that Harley Davidson probably, do I think that they could put out a better and more complete product that is off the showroom floor better than what they do now? Absolutely, I think they could.
Sure.
But do they have to? Because Harley is the most customized vehicle on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And if they made a better, more complete product, would that stop you from putting parts on it that you thought were cool, or made it more comfortable, or made it louder, or made it perform better? Would it stop you from putting those parts on the bike? I don't believe it would.
No.
Exactly. Because we all get them, and we all want to make them our own, and we all want it to represent our personality, and we want them to be individuals, and none of them are like that when they're stock.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's just an interesting dynamic with the Harley brand is how, and I didn't realize this till after I started riding, that how much people care about who's running the show, and it's always made me laugh. It's like back to what we talked about. I just don't care. Like, put out a good product, and I'll buy it.
Right.
And don't be a pedophile or something crazy. Obviously, you would have the job, but don't be a piece of shit either. But at least in public, I don't know you personally.
Exactly.
Certainly there are people out there that got spoiled with Willie G out riding with all these people back in the 70s and 80s. I mean, 60s too, for that matter. And I hear you. I get it. Unfortunately, those days are over. It's going to be rare to see that. Things evolve, things change, and if you can't accept that, then man, life's got to be really tough on you.
Yeah, and I think that I think this guy's pedigree is good, right? And Do you think that Zeitz set the prices of the bikes when he was the CEO? I bet he didn't.
No.
I bet he didn't at all, right? There's somebody in the company to do that. Do you think that Zeitz was out there finalizing the design of the new 2024 baggers when they came out? No. He was not doing that either. So
No.
it's not like this guy from Top Golf is going to come in and the next motorcycle is going to look like a 9-iron.
That's right. Or
It's
a,
not-
a putting green for a seat. You know?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
it's-
Like that shit's not going to happen. You know what I mean? So, like, I think that we need to be realistic about the fact that he's been successful in two corporations that needed help, right? He was successful in something that no one needs at all. No one needs golf, right? And I what does that have to do with motorcycles? Not a damn thing. But what does it have to do with a commodity that no one needs? Everything.
Well,
Because he has found a way to
Yes.
connect people to something that they don't need, but they want.
And at the end of the day, he's a CEO of any company, president of any company is only as good as the people they surround themselves with, right? So at the end of the day, I'm more concerned about making sure that Brad Richards is happy because he's the lead design and innovative guy. He's the guy that spearheaded the Lowrider ST and all of this other stuff that's coming out. That's the guy that I hope Harley keeps, and it doesn't have an issue with the new CEO or vice versa, because that guy knows what he's doing. I'm a big fan of his, and I think that guy will help Harley continue to innovate and grow.
Well, see, and what you do is you take the guy like that made something that was wildly successful, and you say, hey, what other ideas do you have, and what other ideas do you friends have? And do you have friends that have ideas like yours that aren't here? Because if they're not here, we need to find a place for them. And then the CEO needs to go in and talk to all the people that are laying eggs and fucked up, and those people need to be gone.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe he needs to come in and clean house. Maybe there is a mid-level management that hasn't been doing the job, and they've been the ones that have been screwing up Harley, right? Everyone likes to blame the person at the top because it's like the president, right? The president takes responsibility for so many things that the president doesn't have responsibility for.
You're right.
But the heavy is the head that wears the crown, right? Yep. I mean, that's the reality of it. So if this dude can go in there and kick ass and take names and get the people that you said should be making the decisions, to get the people that should be doing the right things on the right course, then maybe that's where it's at.
Yeah. Again, I mean, Brad Richards has been there quite a while. Came over from Ford. That guy, I think, is a genius, and I think that my concern in any change of leadership there is more with him. That's the guy that is the lead designer and is going to drive the innovation of motorcycle design for Harley for the future, and that's the guy I'm more concerned about than the CEO. So. I don't know. It's an interesting dynamic. I mean, internally, they talk about shit goes downhill, but on the public side, shit goes uphill. And so, to your point, it's not the president making all these decisions, but they lay the blame. They lay down for the blame and get run over with it, whether they deserve it or not.
Right. What I'd like to see is the corporation step in and start leveraging their corporate power against individual ownerships or ownership groups that are out there strafing the customers. That's what I'd like to see.
Sure.
I'd like to see, and here's the deal. It can be done, right? Black Hills Harley Davidson did not have a good reputation 5 years ago.
Right.
They overcharged people. They undervalued your trade-ins. A lot of things like that were happening. They got purchased by a automotive motor vehicle group that knew how to move vehicles.
Yep.
And last year, they broke every sales record they ever had. Right?
How many? Do you know what that number was? Do you remember what that number was last year?
Last year, I think it was 650 or 675 or something like that.
They passed 700 today.
Yeah. So I mean, Black Hills Harley Davidson does it right, man. So I mean,
yeah.
they're moving motorcycles. You go there and they will absolutely make you a deal. You tell them to get bent, and they will continue to talk to you about making you a deal. Like, they're out there trying to move motorcycles.
Yep.
And I'm telling you this, they'll do it afterwards. My buddy that I ride with, my buddy Bob, as I always call him on the podcast, he bought his last bike for Black Hills.
Okay.
He went to a lot of places. Number one, they were fair with him for his old shitty bike.
Okay.
Okay? They didn't overprice it. They didn't underprice it. They were fair. That's all I can say.
Sure. That's all you can hope for.
Yep. And then when he told them kind of where he needed to be, they worked their magic, right? Either drop the price of their bike that he was trying to buy or raise the price of his trade-in value. But either way, they were fair. They gave him a fair deal. And he bought his bike not from – and I would say this. He found a bike that he wanted there, right? They had a bike that he wanted versus other dealers. There's a closer dealer that I would say that's been fair, but they didn't have the bike that he wanted. He found the bike that he wanted there.
Sure.
Right? But because they have access. And do I think they sold his bike or it went out on the floor? No. I think it probably went straight to auction.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Absolutely.
So from that perspective, great. They did him a solid, and he got a good bike that's that's been good for him. So I think that's what I would like to see. I would like the CEO leverage the corporate power to the dealerships to make it consistent, right?
Yeah.
Let's get back to if you're open on a Saturday and you have mechanics in there on a Saturday and you're traveling, they're going to put your bike on a lift and get you back on the road. None of this bullshit about we're too busy, we can't help you, that kind of stuff. Let's get back to why people like Harley Davidson, why people continue to go to the dealerships, right?
Yep.
Let's start putting out clothes that people would wear, right? Everybody knows that you love a Harley Davidson. You don't need the logo so big across your chest that's all they can see.
I'll give them some grace there. They were trying, at least a few years ago, trying to go that direction. I don't know that it stuck, but I bought a couple things that you wouldn't know is a Harley shirt unless I told you.
Right. Understated would be good. I'd like to see them do some retro stuff, right? Some retro style T-shirts, throw some stuff, do some stuff that they do some throwbacks.
Now I've seen a few lately, like this year, where it had like an old FXR on it, had like an eagle. It looked like something from the 80s, maybe early 90s. Yeah. But like to see more of that. Like maybe that's what you mean, but I'd like to see more of that.
Yep. I think. Well, you know what I didn't see this last year that they should have capitalized on? You know what's really hot right now? And it's even hot in paint jobs. Like the Miami Vice colors.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Dude,
it has been for about a year.
But why? I haven't seen a teal Harley shirt. Why isn't there a bright teal Harley shirt? Because that motherfucker would sell like hotcakes.
Thrashing just came out with a hat, shirt, and gloves that look straight out of Miami Vice. It looks like the old Polar Pop styrofoam cup you got at the gas station,
exactly. So why hasn't Harley put it? Like, I feel like their R&D and their style department, their marketing department, I always feel like they're about 2 or 3 years behind the trends. Like, they're a giant corporation. Start the fucking trend.
Yeah, I mean that you're right because and to your point, they're a huge corporation. They can't be nimble. So how do you offset that? You start the trend,
right?
And it feels like they're too scared to fail.
Yep, and I get that they feel like they can't be nimble, right? But what I'm saying is that their opportunity to be nimble. I'm not saying they should put out a teal motorcycle. Right. Although if you saw the one that Blockhead did with that super rare paint that he did that he did for that fucker was hot.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that paint was hot.
Well,
right?
look up the Nerd Glide that Forever Rad did. I mean, same thing.
Right, exactly.
Badass in that same color scheme.
Right. So what I'm saying is that okay, so you can't be nimble in your bikes because that's a big investment. Like, I get that, okay?
Sure.
But you can be nimble in your clothing line because that shit turns over. It's disposable. It's a commodity. It's not going to be here next year, right? Do more like do the Dixon style, right? Put out a T-shirt. We have 10,000. That's all there is. Harley does that with their bikes, and it's been successful every year. Do that with their clothing line, too.
Yep.
Make people want your shit again, right?
Yep.
And so, and here's the thing: when they find something, they did it with the ST, right? Which was, we found something that was good. We listened to the customers. The bag was the uneven bags were fucked up. It had dual pipes. They went to 2-into-1.
Yep.
You know, they fixed all that shit. So
Yep.
the ST now is better than the one they put out 3 years ago, right?
Yep.
I'd say that bike really doesn't need a whole lot. Then they put out that tobacco one. The tobacco fade?
Oh, yeah.
Fuck. I mean, the Diablo and tobacco fade, some of the hottest bikes I've seen them do in years.
Tobacco Fade, my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
In a heartbeat. Like,
Yep.
I've considered painting my FXR that similar paint scheme. Like,
yeah.
I
mean,
love that thing.
absolutely. But you know what that is? That's an 80s paint scheme all day long.
Absolutely.
All day long. And it is fucking. But the people that are our age, I'm going to say 40 to 50, that's our jam. Like, because we remember when those bikes were brand new. Like, I remember seeing that color. That brown was a hugely popular Harley color in the 80s.
Yeah.
Why don't they have a fucking brown bike right now? Because they certainly should.
Yep.
Why don't they have a brown and cream bike or a brown and maroon bike? What the hell, Harley? Brown was a huge color for a long time, and they've never brought it back.
Well, yeah,
Like,
they've gotten away from the earth. There's no earth tones, really.
Well, and I don't want to see khaki. I don't want to see another denim color like that.
Sure.
You know what I mean? My bike's denim, and I love my bike, but I don't want to see that on the new bikes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bring back bring back some of these retro things. You know, it just, I feel like that's these kind of things. If the CEO can capitalize on those kind of things, I think he'll be wildly successful. Right? I think they did a good thing a few years ago by not offering as many models because we customize them anyway, right? So they made their model market smaller. You mentioned something to me a while ago, and it's been out there too, that they're going to have a $6,000 Harley.
Yeah.
Right? So let's not fuck that up. Let's make sure that they should. I mean, let's be honest. Harley needs to have a sub $10,000 bike in their market. They do. Okay, they just do.
And at the end, but worth mentioning that, that design process is 3 or 4 years out, maybe longer, depending on what it is. So to see an immediate impact is impossible by new leadership.
Oh, well, I mean,
from a motorcycle design.
Yes. Absolutely.
Now,
motorcycle design standpoint.
Culture, what you talked about with the dealerships, what you talked about with clothing, absolutely. That's got to be more nimble. I understand they plan ahead probably a year or two or more with clothing, but man, you can also say, hey, let's do, like you said, I love the limited run idea.
Yeah. And you can do a litmus test in some of your bigger dealerships, right?
Sure.
And you can get some of the bigger dealerships on board. But I think that was good. I think they've done a better job. And here's the thing: like if you listen to the inside of the industry, the internal part of the industry, all of the people that make parts, hard parts, things like that, are pissed off that Harley has leaned into influencers.
Yes.
But they call them influencers for a reason, man.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I'm not disparaging the people that are complaining, right? The guy that's had a shop for 25 years, who supported the industry, who fixed people's bikes and whatever, and he's like, hey, I'm making hard parts now. Harley should throw me a motorcycle. Okay, I get your point. You don't have 250,000 customers.
Yeah, how many motorcycles or parts off that motorcycle are you going to sell for Harley?
Right. But you have these influencers that have hundreds of thousands of followers.
That's right.
And people fall over their every word, right? I mean, you have influencers that are living off of T-shirt sales because they're selling so many T-shirts of their own individual brands, right?
Yeah.
So Harley has to lean into that market, and they've done a better job the last few years.
And also, that market is a younger demographic.
Absolutely.
Maybe, and some are really young, some aren't that much younger than me, but it's a younger market, and that is I think everyone realizes that. You gotta go younger, or
and here's the thing,
ain't gonna end well.
And here's the thing, when you have a meetup of influencers and that meetup draws a crowd of 1,000 people, and those people are there to see that person, just that person, that's like hero shit. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and
yeah.
so there's people that show up there thinking that this influencer is like a celebrity. And
That's
so
right, yeah.
and so you have to they've done I don't fault Harley at all for leaning into the influencer market. Not even a little bit.
Well, at the end of the day, and I think maybe some, in my opinion, and what I've found talking to people that don't understand the influencer market, it's because they don't listen to podcasts, they don't watch YouTube channels of these people, so they don't understand that having a podcast, having a YouTube channel, and putting videos, vlogs like Thrash It or whoever, it's a different connection that you have with that, that the consumer has with that person, because you feel like you know them. They're vlogging. You know that Thrashing, Dom's bike broke down 16 times on the way to Sturgis because it's a 49 panhead.
But they're just being themselves, though, right?
Right.
Because they're not putting on a face.
There's that connection, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's why they feel like they're celebrities, because they feel like they know them, right? So you go in there and it's like, man, they have that connection. So when they say, oh, yeah, I've been running blah, 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 risers or pegs or floorboards. Oh, that's a great idea. I love the look. Such and such does it. I'm going to do it.
Exactly.
I mean, it's so huge. And I think people just that don't watch podcasts, don't lean into YouTube, understand that influence and that connection that they have because of that is such a big deal.
Yeah, right. And the other thing that they realize, and I realized it when I was riding, is that when I was really heavy into watching a lot of motorcycle content on YouTube, it was because it was cathartic for me. I was like binging every night in the wintertime when I couldn't ride.
Sure. Yeah.
And so it made me feel reconnected. You know what I mean? So that I was like hyped for the season because I've been watching this content all season long. Or you watch content, you get an idea of a cool thing you want to do to your bike, or it gives you the courage to do that thing to your bike on your own.
Yeah.
Right? And
well,
so,
hell, I feel like I've been at Sturgis the last week. Watching
right?
all these videos, whether it's social media, watching YouTube videos, whatever. I mean, I've seen that guy jump that 205-foot jump. I don't know how many times, and that was fucking amazing. I watched it another 100 times. So it was awesome.
Right. I mean, I watched so many clips on Instagram last night. I had a hangover when I woke up this morning. I mean, it was. I mean. And having been there 2 years in a row and not being at the 85th and seeing just the wildness of it.
Oh yeah.
I had FOMO real bad this year.
Sure.
Real
well,
bad.
I'm glad you were watching that instead of Pornhub or something. So.
Well, I watched Pornhub at the same time too.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
I didn't know you're ambidextrous. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, you just. Or you can have like an iPad and a phone going, right? I mean,
I don't know. You tell me. You're the expert.
You got to multitask. You got to learn some multitasking.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
No, for real though. I mean, I mean, we kind of got. I don't know if we got off the rails as much as we, kind of expanded this topic of the CEO. But again, okay. So we talked about the positivity. Okay, we talked about maybe kind of the reason why we would agree with this move that Harley made, right? But let's give a counterpoint to this. Why is this a giant, stupid decision that Harley made hiring this guy?
I mean, the low-hanging fruit here would be the consumer backlash, client-based backlash to it.
Well, and I think the client-based backlash is all talk.
I agree. Right? I agree. But I mean, that's low hanging fruit, you know?
And if he fails, it's going to be, see, we told you so, right? That's
Correct.
The other part of it. Okay. What about the other low hanging fruit, which is, he doesn't look like a motorcycle guy, right? He looks like a guy that is, more, he looks like a guy that's more likely to clean your teeth than he does to change your oil on your bike.
Who was the CEO before this one?
Zeitz, yeah.
I mean, before him.
Oh,
Stars
Levitich or something like that.
And I don't remember what he looked like. Did he look like the biker?
Yeah. I don't remember what he looked like either. I think it was Levitich or something like that.
Okay. So he doesn't look like a biker, but we don't remember what the hell he looked like.
Okay, well,
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay, but then then the argument of that is, what does a biker look like, Luke?
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
I mean, that's a fucking rabbit hole. I ain't
Oh,
going down.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's exactly the thing. So here, okay, so I'll give you a couple of years ago, I got an email sent to me, and it was entirely sent to me for two reasons. Number one, I was a Hog member. Number two, I put out videos and had a podcast, and I was an influencer, right? This was probably 3 years ago already, 3 or 4 years ago. It was from Harley's marketing team. They said, we want to pay you, and we want to ask you a bunch of questions. Sure. So they asked me a whole bunch of questions. And, they asked me a lot about their app. How much do I use the app? Do I like the app, right? So they asked me about that. And they asked me a lot of things. And then when I was talking about Harley getting younger, Harley doing this, Harley doing that, the marketing gal, who was 20 years younger than me, said to me, well, you look exactly like all of the old guys that are riding bikes, right? She did not lump me in with the younger generation of riders. She was right. She was right not to, right? When she interviewed me, I was 45, 46 years old, right? So, but in my brain, I was lumping myself in with the younger generation because I don't identify with the old heads, the boomers, right? And the old heads that rode panheads and rode knuckleheads and built their own bikes, and like I don't identify with those guys, right? So I felt like I was a part of the younger generation, but really, I'm in the part of the market that Harley doesn't care about because we're not big enough, right? The Gen X market isn't. We're the next level consumer, but we're not big enough. We are not going to buy as many motorcycles or whatever as the boomers did because we're not big enough.
That's what
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Our generation is smaller, and so
but
they're focused on the millennials.
Yeah, but I think that can the millennials afford, a CBO?
No.
Can they, or just even a nice
Can
bagger?
anyone afford a CVO?
But people in our age range can, because we're hopefully established in our careers, and are making money and have disposable income. Keep messing that word up, but I think I might push back on that. That I think that our generation is a little more thought more of than you might think with Harley.
Yeah,
because
you're probably. I mean, you might be right. But
we should have more money than millennials, especially the Gen Y or whatever. I don't know all of them, but
yeah.
So,
well, I think we do, right? I think we're positioned better, but there's just so many more of them. The millennials are bigger than the boomers. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the boomers are dying off, but the millennials are bigger than them. They're the next largest. They're the largest generation right now. In the marketplace of consumers in general, right?
Yep.
So, yeah. So I mean, at the end of the day, here's where I'm at with the whole thing. And I want you to weigh in. I want you to tell me where you're at with the whole thing too.
Sure.
Actually, you know what? I want you to go first. I want to, give me your elevator speech on this topic.
Yeah. So as I said earlier, I think he has the resume. He has performed. He has the historicals there that he's performed with Pizza Hut and especially with Topgolf as well. What impresses me is that he took a company that wasn't fledgling like Pizza Hut and improved greatly. He took Pizza Hut, who was declining, and got them. He righted the ship. So I sure as hell hope he can do that with Harley. And I think he can, and I think that him, whether he's touched a motorcycle or not in his life, makes no damn difference in his performance. Because I want my CEO to be, of any company, that I support or believe in is to be the biggest cheerleader and have the strategic wherewithal and experience to lead an organization and to surround themselves with the right people. And that's how I will judge his performance.
Okay. So I love it. Here's my elevator speech. I agree with you on the financial performance. I think he's got the pedigree. I think he's a good choice, right?
Okay.
I agree with your earlier sentiment that you said Harley's CEO job might not be as desirable as we think it is right now.
Yep.
And I don't think that this guy, still based on his pedigree, would be a second choice. I think he's a good first choice because he's got a good pedigree and he's proven his mettle, right? He's better than buying a CEO that just left a company that's pissing it away. Okay?
Yeah.
So he must see promise there or opportunity.
Sure.
The next thing is I personally don't give a flying fuck about the CEO or who's running the ship.
Yep.
Right? I care more about how I think they're fucking up the clothing line, how I think about that they are putting out bedazzled jeans still, which are the stupidest ass thing I can think of to have on a motorcycle because I don't want that shit fucking up my paint. Right?
You don't want bling on your ass?
No,
Weird.
and I don't want it fucking up my paint. And I don't want my wife to wear blingy ass jeans and scrape on my bike, either, or my daughter, right? I think that there's a lot of other things that matter to me more. I want the dealerships to be more consistent in their pricing, in the way that they treat their customers. All of that matters to me so much more than the CEO. And then, lastly, and I will stand on this soapbox forever, we, the people that ride the motorcycles, make up the culture, not the fucking CEO that runs
Correct.
the company. Was it that way when Willie G was in charge? Was he a bigger proponent for the culture? Did he look like a biker? Did he act like a biker? Was he out riding with people? Yes. That's not the world we live in. Get up to the new world. Get on board with where we are now, which means it doesn't matter. We are the culture. We hold the reins. We hold the keys to the castle. The culture is who we are.
Yep.
Right? So if the culture fails, it's on us because we failed it. It goes back to many other people we've heard and many other podcasts that you and I have listened to that says, if you want an event to exist, go to the fucking event.
Yeah.
If you want your favorite company to continue to put out good products, buy something from them.
That's right.
A hat, a T-shirt if you can't afford their risers or their bars or their pegs or their brake pedal or whatever it is. Or save your money and then buy it.
Yep.
Right? Because that's what we had to do when we were kids. You had to save your fucking pennies to buy something you wanted.
Yep.
There wasn't a layaway program or there wasn't whatever, right? So, and I'm speaking passionately about this because I do feel strongly about it, right?
Sure.
If the culture is fucked up, we have to own that because then we fucked it up. The CEO didn't fuck up the culture. We did.
Right. Yep.
You know what I mean? So, and if the consumers think the bikes are too expensive, they won't buy them.
Yep.
So, and because they're continuing to buy them, not at the pace they were before, there's a million reasons why bikes aren't selling right now, and not all of them have anything to do with the CEO.
Well, and they have nothing to do with culture.
Exactly.
Price of a bike and culture are a million miles apart.
Not even in the same category, right?
Yep.
Because I'll tell you right now, the guy that rides my bike or my bike in general or your FXR is not the same culture that rides a Vicla.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
That's right. Yep.
It's not, but it doesn't mean that we appreciate those things any less. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't have that style bike. To me, that is the coolest motorcycle that is ever out there anywhere.
Yep.
I like those bikes better than performance baggers. I like them better than choppers because to me, that style bike is like the perfect mix between a chopper and a practical bike that you could ride. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But that's off topic. Either way, there's microcosms of culture in our entire industry, right?
Yep.
And what do? You get in where you fit in, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You find your people, and those are your people within the industry, and who you ride with, and who you roll with, and who you trust, and who you who you whatever, right? Those are your people. Not every guy you seeing riding a bike is your person.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know?
Agreed.
And so that's my elevator speech. Might even have been a little bit too long, but that's my elevator speech on it because I don't think it matters. I think it's the right person and the right decision to make the right financial decisions to turn the finances of the company around, which needs to happen. Everything else, who cares?
I agree. Yeah, I mean, it's, guys, at the end of the day, I've never led a publicly traded global company. I know you haven't. Probably nobody listening to this that has. So our opinion, including mine, even what I just stated, is uneducated. It's just an opinion.
Right. Well, but here's the thing, though. You didn't say a bunch of uneducated things. I think you spoke very eloquently about his past and potential for the future. So great job. I appreciate that. I applaud you and thank you for doing that because it matters. Like, what you said matters because it gives credence.
No, uneducated as in no experience running any
absolutely,
company.
absolutely, right. So
I don't even run my household. My daughter does, so whatever. Fuck. I think the dog's got more pull than me, so whatever.
Oh, shit, that's great. But no, Luke, you know what? Here's the deal. Like, I like this one. I like this topic. I like the. I like.
Let's revisit in 6-8 months.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't start for a couple months anyway. So let's revisit after the first of the year. Let's get. Well, and year-end financials are out, and we'll see what happens from there. Yeah, he is. Yeah. Make the argument. We're not here to argue, but tell us what you think and why you think it. Yep. Absolutely. Well, guys, thanks for listening. Another week down. Man, we're rocking and rolling on these things. Episode 8? Wow. 2 months? Yeah. Even my dog's excited. I don't know if you can hear that. But yeah, thanks guys for the support. Really appreciate it. We added a Patreon to this week, so thank you for that. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram, Facebook. We're actually on TikTok and of course YouTube. If you feel so kind to show us some extra love, we've got a couple different levels of donations on Patreon. Of course, it's completely fucking free to repost anything from social media, spread the word, tell your friends, and don't forget join Discord, and we got a merch store. So buy a hat, buy a shirt. We're about to take the "This Shit Ain't Free" shirts off there. It's a limited run, so grab them while you can. And guys, we'll see you next week.